The first thing we're going to be doing in this class is to basically download Python, get it running on your system, okay? So the first thing you should do in order to download Python is go to python.org/downloads, or you can also do a quick Google search for Python download, and it should be the first website that you see. So go ahead and click on it, and you should automatically see the particular computer version of Python for you to download here. For me, I'm using a Mac operating system, so it automatically notices that and has the download button ready. If you're in Windows or Linux or whatever other operating system you have, it should automatically be here, and you should be good to go if you just click on this button. Okay, so once you have that downloaded, go ahead and take a little bit of time to get it downloaded first and come back to this video afterwards. So once you have Python downloaded, what you should see is if you go to your applications, if you're using a Mac computer, or I think you can also use the search bar if you're on Windows, and if you search for IDLE or idle, okay, in my applications I already have Python 3.8, so if I click on this, I see this idle, right, or the integrated development and learning environment for Python. And if you click on this, okay, this is what you should see, the Python shell. For you, you should be in 3.8.3, which is the latest version. I have 3.8.0. It doesn't really matter. It's still in the threes, so we're good to go. Okay, so this is what we call a Python shell. Okay, so normally when we're writing Python programs and run the code, this is where you will see your output or the result of your program. And you can also type up a little Python code in here to get a result. So for example, if I just said print hello world and I clicked enter, it'll show me the result for that particular Python code right away. So the shell is used mostly just to check up on a little bit of code, maybe see what a particular function does. In this case, we're using a print function. Again, don't worry about what a function is. We'll be covering that in the course, but just know that the Python shell is normally used to just get a quick answer or output for any little tidbits of code that you have that you want to check. Now, in order to write actual Python programs, what you would normally want to do is click on File here, click on New File, and you will see this other window. And this other window is called the Python text editor. Okay, so this is automatically downloaded when you downloaded Python from the python.org website. Okay, so this is our text editor, and this is where you type in Python code, lines and lines of code. And so I wanted to go over a little bit about what the difference is here. When do we use this and when do we use this, right? Notice that if I'm on a text editor, right now it's called untitled because I have not saved this file yet. So let's say, just type in my first Python program, okay? And if I can actually save this file. If I go to File and then click Save As, I can name it anything I want. For now, I'm just going to call it Test. And notice how in the format, it already gives me the .py extension, right? So the .py extension is used for Python files. And what the great thing about if you specify the .py is that it will automatically color code all of your Python code. And that basically gives you a better readability for your Python code rather than just have everything black, okay? So always save it as .py. If you don't see this formatting, or if you don't have this option, then you can just specify it right here when you save it using the .py extension. Go ahead and save it. Okay, so now you have a file called test.py, and it contains these two lines, okay? And notice how if we exit out, right? If we exit out of it, let's go ahead and open the test.py file, and notice that I am able to get the two lines that I still had before quitting this particular file. So I am able to save code here and basically open it again another time whenever I need it, right? Whereas, for example, if I close the Python shell, right, And if I opened it again, so in order to open the Python shell again, you click on Run and go to Python shell. And when I open it, notice how my previous words that I had here, or statements, they are no longer here. Okay, so that's the biggest difference. Python shell, you can't really save anything that you type here. Whereas in the text editor, you are able to save whatever you need for later use. Okay, so this is why we use text editors to type long programs or long lines of code for Python, so you can come back to it again another time. Whereas shell, you will have to, you can't really, there's no option to really save anything that you have here. So that is the biggest difference between the two. Hopefully you learned a little bit about how Python shell and the text editors work. In the next lecture, I will be going over actual basic Python code.